wholeness, blessings, and infinite wonder as we wander this planet. Yeah, just here in LA currently still. Gonna be making some moves soon, traveling, even if it's actual traveling, always traveling. Just feel like I got that nomadic soul. But yeah, a couple things I just was thinking about recently. I was just taking a walk, and a couple things passed across my perception and my consciousness. And one was a few things I had written down recently, made note of, and then shared publicly. And that was finding your true self, or sort of discovering yourself and who you are. And I gave or listed 3 steps that helped me, like they just kind of came to my mind, and I posted it. So the first was stop looking or stop searching is the first step, because pretty much everything you need is within yourself, and everything that's external is an example of what's internal, like the things that you go through, the things that you enjoy, the people that you meet, even in your dreams. Those external beings or those external things, or things that you see, even if it's a chair, if it's a person, if it's an emotion that a person is expressing, if it's a color, all that is really an externalization of something that's going on internally for you. So it is, to me, the first step is just like stop searching, stop looking outside yourself for what you are really. And then the second step or second thing that I suggested was just start being yourself, because you already are yourself. Every moment you're yourself, and when you try and externalize that, when you try and like copy or take somebody else's advice completely and try and become them, or even if you find a quote-unquote guru or teacher, they're just teaching about themselves and the path they've walked. You don't want to be behind them walking on that path. You want to be on your own path. Could be in parallel, you could be going in the opposite direction, you could be going in a completely different direction, but your paths merge at that point. So it's good to take heed of people's advice, and especially since we're all reflections of each other, that it does make sense to realize what they're saying is a reflection of you yourself still. But yeah, don't copy or don't completely vibrate at the same frequency they are, unless you're in resonance at that particular time. And I mean, that could last for a long time. You could find that person is what people call a twin flame, or something, to me, a particle, a soul, a piece of soul, or a piece of the collective conscious that was maybe initiated or given the same, almost the exact same tone or vibration at the moment of creation, and so that you guys do maybe resonate at the same frequency, and so your paths do merge and will continue on for a long time. That's very possible. So all that being said, I am saying that, yeah, just be yourself rather than copy. But we're all, again, reflections, so don't take that as you can't take influence, you can't take inspiration from other people. And then the third thing I said, or I shared, was just enjoy. And you can take that in many ways. I like spelling enjoy, or at least like when I think of enjoy, I think about it being an inner joy. You find joy within yourself. But no matter how you spell it, E-N-J-O-Y or I-N-J-O-Y, it's still an inward process of joy and wonder that you're taking at your place here, at your perspective and your understanding and experience of life. So definitely do enjoy the experience. And this kind of ties in with a book I've recently picked up again. I'd purchased it a few years ago, maybe 2 years ago. And it I got to the first maybe 30 pages, and it, I think, affected me profoundly. But at the same time, it was just like confirming a lot of stuff I already knew or had thought about since I could think. I've always kind of thought, or I had this thought after maybe reading a few books, that the way of consciousness is that it's intimately tied in with matter. So you can think of consciousness as figuratively or symbolically the bones in my fingers. So like you can't see the bones necessarily, but you can see the form that my skin is taking around the bones. So consciousness is something that is not necessarily hidden, but kind of behind the veil of matter. And so it's kind of like at its lowest levels, or quantum levels even, and I didn't even know this when I was young, it looks like waves and bubbling in of matter and condensation of matter, and then that flashing out of existence, and it kind of just being this constant flow of energy, really, when we get down to it. And to me, consciousness is that thing that's pushing up, or like making it move, or making it have any kind of forward motion or momentum, or even if it's not a forward motion, I mean, motion in general is forward from the point of origin. So you can, in 360 degrees, or in any direction, there's motion, which is, I think, why a lot of things are represented as spheres, because from the center point of origin, you're sending energy in all directions, and that's why it's an electron cloud. It's a cloud of electron information that is either wave or particle, depending on the point of observation. And it's a cloud because it's just flashing in and out of existence, or it's flashing in and out of being, and giving you information in multiple areas. So it's just filling in all that space, but it's not full of an electron. It's just full of the information that is possible. But anyways, the book that I was referring to is called Holographic Universe by Michael Talbot. And I recently picked it up again to get some more insight on things that I've been experiencing and thinking. And it was about the right time for me to pick up that book, I think, because I've been expanding my mind on other things, a lot of occult stuff, a lot of things people would call magic, but it's not necessarily the sole definition of what you would say magic is. It's just being able to understand what life and creation is beyond illusion and beyond the mayat, and the world as we take it. I mean, this is a beautiful creation behind me, and you could say it's illusion, but it's a creative illusion. I mean, it's something that somebody took some time and energy and effort to put into the world, and I'm enjoying it and hope you enjoy it as well. But the whole theory that the universe is holographic is more so saying that if we take light, like if we take the sun as our light source, or we can take our souls or consciousness as our light source, which is, I think the sun is a symbol of our consciousness and what we get our information from and upgrades from, that if you take this source of light or a laser or whatever and shoot it into a hologram, there will be an image that's produced that is taking from all the information stored within that hologram and projecting that outward so you could see it, but at the same time you can run your hand through it, you can run any piece of matter through it, and it may distort the image a little bit, but the image is still there. So it's saying really all of our projections, or all of our external experiences are in a sense, this light of consciousness, or this beam of consciousness that's being projected into the holographic nature of this universe to show us everything that we see, really, and everything that we experience. And even in the internal process, even what we think is outward is also really inward. But this reality, at least on this earth, we're very addicted, in my opinion, to our ego, or we're addicted to our creations, we're addicted to our life, we're addicted to this perception that we are singular or separate, but we're really not. And then even when we come out of that, in a sense, we're dragged right back into it. And the example he uses, and he quotes different physicists and psychiatrists, at least as far as I am in the book. But Bohm specifically is a proponent theorist or physicist, person in physics who came up with this theory, or at least really supported it, that we are kind of eddies, or we are kind of like currents in spinning whirlpools of consciousness, and that we condense here in these bodies and sort of inhabit this area, and we kind of sort of draw the flow of consciousness here, and then it still goes down the stream, merrily down the stream of consciousness, but we're still getting that energy, and we're still getting that consciousness from source. It stays here for a while, then it moves on, and you can see that as our whole life process, or you can just see that as each moment, or you can see that as just a thought. So if you're kind of like stuck in a thought, or if you're stuck in one of your chakras, which are whirling pools of energy anyway, that you don't want to get it backed up or blocked. So when you kind of like let that emotion sit there, let that energy sit there, it kind of gets stagnant. So you kind of want to keep the energy flowing inwards and then out, and know that you're not separate from the whole pool or the whole river or the whole flow of consciousness, that you can dip into that pool, but then still flow with the whole expanse and welcome the whole expanse into you, and know that you are the whole expanse. So this is something that I've been trying to keep in my mind as I walk through the day and meditate and be myself. So I share that with you, and I tie those two things together, that we don't really need to go out to find our true self. We are really truly ourselves already in the moment, and we need to realize that, be ourselves each moment, and enjoy each moment of being ourselves. So that's really what I wanted to share and what I wanted to talk about. I may continue to give some more insight as I get through the book, The Holographic Universe by Michael Talbot. So I'll add that link, and I will add any other information or any other insight that I have with that. So wholeness.